Hey, what's up? What is going on? Welcome to another episode of Hey Mark, the podcast where I, Mark, get to have open and authentic conversations about things like mental health and self-development. And the reason I'm out here having these conversations, the reason I think that this is important is because I want to try and help alleviate some of the suffering that's happening out there in silence. For those of you that kind of feel like, hey, nobody really knows what I'm going through, nobody really feels how I feel, nobody thinks the way that I think, nobody has these thoughts, whatever it could be, you're my type of people. And no matter what it is that you are going through, you are not alone, and life can and will get better for you. And so if you're brand new to this podcast, if you're new to this kind of community, that is exactly what it is that we talk about on a daily basis here, or on a weekly basis, or twice a week whenever this podcast goes up. That being said, if you are new to this community, then welcome. Thank you for joining the family. If you're brand new, if you aren't, if you're a returning listener or viewer, however you digest this podcast, thank you so much for the support you've given me up until now. I'm going to try and do my best to give you the same thing that brought you around the first time, if not improve. And if I can improve, then let me know. Reach out to me on Instagram, reach out to me through the comment section. If this is on YouTube for you, reach out to me through reviews. Let me know how I can improve on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, wherever you listen, anything like that. So, yeah, that's pretty much how we run things around here. I try my best to kind of give you guys a little bit of entertainment, a little bit of insight into my own life, my own mental health journey, and try and connect everybody in terms of a community. And, I just want to start these conversations. And so, in regards to community, it's tough because a lot of the time we look at our community and we look at, the people around us on social media. We look at, our family members, our friends. We look at everyone around us, really, whether it's on the news, whether it's, anything like that. We always want to try and point out the ways that communities can improve, or the ways that we can improve society, or the ways that the world should improve. We look at politicians and we think, hey, they should be pushing legislation like this, and this, and protecting the rights of this group. And, we look at celebrities and we think like, oh, that person should be using their wealth to do X, Y, and Z, but they're instead partying with that person or whatever. We look at, our bosses, our coworkers. We think, this person doesn't value this at work. They should, or they do this or that, or, regardless of what you're looking at, we always want to point out the ways that other people or other situations or other companies or politicians, we always want to point out how they can improve. We see all these problems in the world and we think, why is no one else seeing what I see? Why does no one notice that this is a big fucking problem? And realistically, it could probably just be solved with a quick couple solutions like this, that, and the other, whatever it could be. And we think, if everybody just thought like me and lived like me, there wouldn't be any fucking problems in the world. And if you find yourself feeling like that, I've been there as well. That's a pretty normal way to think, because I feel like all of us in our own perspective, for the most part, think that the way that we live is the right way to live. Otherwise, we wouldn't live that way. And if you don't think that the way that you live is right, you should change it. You should change the way that you look at your life, or the way that you, behave. Oh, sorry, I try not to burp on these podcasts, but there you go, I'm human. Anyways, I think it's important to understand that everybody feels that way in regards to the way that they live. They're like, I'm doing it the right way. Everyone fucking thinks that way. Yet we still have problems in this world. So obviously not everybody's living the right way. I don't think there even is a right way to live. But what I am trying to say is all of us seem to want to point out the ways that other people or situations can change and improve. Yet we very rarely look at how we can improve. And I think that that's a huge red flag, right? I think a lot of us need to kind of look a little bit more in terms of, and I get like this as well, because I'm an individual person. I'm one person, right? And I look at, even the country that I live in, Canada here, I look at Canada and I think, there's great ways that we can improve this nation. But first, I know that to improve the nation, I have to improve first my own province. So then I look at my own province and I think, well, to improve my own province first, clearly I'm going to have to improve my own kind of community, like where, have it be Metro Vancouver or whatever. And then I know to myself, hey, if I want to improve all of Metro Vancouver, I first have to improve my own city. And first, to improve my own city, I have to improve my neighborhood. And first, to improve my own neighborhood, I have to improve my own apartment. And first, to improve my own apartment, I have to improve myself. And hopefully you guys have all kind of come to the same conclusion, right? Hopefully I haven't lost you yet, because that's pretty basic. That's pretty simple. And so we've gotten to the conclusion that, hey, if I want to improve my nation, then I have to improve myself, right? We've kind of made that connection. And I think that that's why a lot of us are in the position that we're in right now, where it's like, okay, how do I improve myself then? Right? Like if I want to make this world a better place, I have to make myself better. That's obvious. That's very obvious. But what does that look like, right? What does that actually entail? And so for me, I had to kind of think about, before I start to kind of judge other people and try and improve other people, I got to improve myself. But what does that actually look like, right? I have to be able to be of use to my community. I have to be able to be of use to other people. And what does that mean, right? Like obviously the biggest one that we think about often, when we think about people doing work for the community or doing charity work, we think of donations, we think of donating money, we think of, charities. And so obviously making yourself financially more independent, financially stronger is a great way to do that, because then should you have a loved one, obviously knock on wood, that doesn't happen. But say you have a loved one, maybe fall ill or fall sick, or a family member or coworker, whatever, you obviously would have the finances to be able to help them out. But it goes a lot deeper than that, because having the discipline to have good finances doesn't come easily to everybody. And so what does actually improving yourself look like for me? Like, I had to ask myself this, like, what does it look like if I need to make myself better? If I have to make myself of use to my community? Well, not only do I have to make myself financially stronger, but I have to make myself a little bit more emotionally stronger. I have to kind of gain a little bit more compassion for people that kind of don't agree with me all the time, that think differently than me. I have to think about, I maybe want to have more patience with the people that do think like me, but maybe we just don't, speak in the most effective ways. We always have to have patience for other people, whether they agree with you or not. And you also kind of have to make yourself, have the energy to want to help other people. I guess there's unlimited ways that we can kind of focus on what does it look like to make myself better. But ultimately what it comes down to is, are you humble enough to say that I want to get better? I want to improve. And maybe I do have some room for improvement. And being able to ask, like, hey, how could I improve? Because I think a lot of the time we always want to point the finger at, you could improve, and you could improve, and that situation can improve, and this company can improve, and that entire community needs to fucking improve, or, whatever, what have you. And I think that a lot of the time we don't even have the self-awareness to even think, hey, maybe I could improve. Maybe I have a little bit of room for improvement, right? And I think that's a great step in and of itself, because you always hear about the keeping up with the Joneses. And I am in no means a big fan of socialism or anything like that, but I think it's time we kind of shift our views from keeping up with the Joneses to helping the Joneses keep up, right? I think that a lot of the time, and what does it look like to be able to help the Joneses keep up? Because if we don't have enough, then how are we going to help other people? And so first, it's making sure that you have enough. And so it is a topic that I've talked about before in this podcast, but I just wanted to make this little reminder that, first, to improve your community, to improve whatever you're wanting to improve, you have to improve yourself. And that means, I've said it in the past, but it's kind of like that idea of being selfish to be selfless, or being able to fill up your cup so that you can pour it out for others. And improving yourself doesn't always have to be in that superficial way in terms of, becoming financially stronger so that you can help other people out financially or what have you. Improving yourself could be just, reading a book on how to agree with people that disagree with you, or reading a book to even just get along with those types of people, or just, any way that you can improve yourself or improve your own living circumstances. Clean up your habits, clean up your apartment, and ask yourself, are you living for your present self, or are you living for your future self? Are you living for yourself, or are you living for your community? And again, these could be journal prompts for you. These could be something that you guys are writing down and kind of asking yourselves, because that's where I came up with these questions. And I didn't even come up with these questions, but that's where why these questions resonate so well with me is because that's where I use them in my own journal. And so, yeah, I just want to have this conversation today with you guys, because I think a lot of the time we want to point out, what could improve exteriorly, and we never want to actually point out, hey, internally, this is how I can improve. Internally, this is where I fucked up. I think a lot of the problems that we have in society right now come down to a lack of accountability, as a collective and as an individual. And I think that the more that we can kind of uphold this, self-accountability, hold myself accountable first, if we all just did that, we wouldn't have to hold anybody in society accountable. And if we all did that, we'd all be readily available to hold the people that aren't holding themselves accountable in the first place. And then we have a very accountable society. And so that's my reminder for you guys today, to just take a look, a reflection back on your life and take accountability for some of the messes that you have, because we all got fucking skeletons in our closet. It's just some of us are willing to admit that we put them there, and some of us are wondering how the fuck the skeletons got there in the first place. And so maybe you didn't put them there, but take accountability for what is in your closet and fucking clean it out once in a while. Whether that's physically, literally, or spiritually, or whatever that could be. If you got skeletons, clean that motherfucking closet out, and Eminem will be proud of you. So that's all I got. Thank you so much. A little bit of housekeeping. Yeah, if you're watching this on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, share the show, help me grow. If you're listening to the podcast version, also share the show, help me grow. But leave a little review, a 5-star review. Rate it, and leave a little review. Tell me how I can improve or what you think I do well. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's all the housekeeping I got. So if you enjoyed this, share it with someone that might enjoy it as well. You're fucking excellent. And I know you are excellent. And even if you don't think that you're excellent, you have a little sliver of excellence in you that is a little bit untapped yet. You haven't tapped into it yet. So if you're looking to tap into it, the best place to start is kind of cleaning out that closet. And I wish you the best of luck, and I love you, and I hope that you can do that. And if you're having issues with that, then reach out to me. I share it all the time in every other episode, but my Instagram will be at the bottom of the screen here. If you're watching the video, it's at Mark D. Henriksen. If you're listening to the podcast, it'll be in the show notes below. But that's all I got. I won't take up too much more of your time. Thank you so much for listening to this. Thank you for being a part of the community. Thank you for being you. You are the reason I do what I do. So that's it. Thank you so much. Go out and have a great fucking day. Much love and peace out.